Good morning, sons and daughters of the Most High. My name is Chukwuemeka with the Igbo Hebrews organization. These are the Igbo people who have realized we are the true Hebrews of the Bible, and we have returned to the worship of our God. We've left Christianity. We don't practice Judaism. We don't practice Islam. We practice the worship of the God of Abraham, the God of the Bible. Our brothers and sisters, today, in this Sabbath lesson, we're going to discuss the war against the women. And when I say the woman, I mean the black woman. The war against the black woman. We're going to discuss it. And we're going to talk about the biblical origin of that and why that war is being waged. And we'll try to identify how that war is being waged. So, let's start from the book of Enoch, brothers and sisters. Let's go to the book of Enoch and start from there. In the book of Enoch, and I'm reading the translation from R.H. Charles for consistency. If you go to chapter 16 in the book of Enoch, it talks about the judgment that will come upon the fallen angels and the implications of the children of the fallen angels, because now these angels came from the heavenly realm and had sexual relations with women, and after that their children were now causing death and destruction on the planet. And in Enoch chapter 16, the Most High of Majesty, the God of Abraham, the creator of the universe, this is what he told Enoch that was going to happen. We're going to start from verse 4. So Enoch chapter 16 verse 4, it says, "Though you were holy, spiritual, living the eternal life, you have defiled yourself with the blood of women, and have begotten children with the blood of flesh. And as the children of men, you have lusted after flesh and blood like those who die and are killed. This is why I have given men wives, that they might impregnate them and have children by them, that deeds might continue on the earth. But you were formerly spiritual, living the eternal life, and immortal for all generations of the world. Therefore I have not appointed wives for you. You are spiritual beings of heaven, and in heaven was your dwelling place. And now the giants who are produced from the spirit of flesh shall be called evil spirits on the earth, and shall live on the earth. Evil spirits have come out from their bodies, because they are born from men and from the holy watchers. Their beginning is of primal origin. There shall be evil spirits on earth, and evil spirits shall they be called spirits of the evil ones. As for the spirits of heaven, in heaven shall be their dwelling. But as for the spirits of the earth, which were born on earth shall be their dwelling. And the spirits of the giants afflict, oppress, destroy, attack, war, destroy, and cause trouble on the earth. They take no food, but do not hunger or thirst. They cause offenses, but are not observed. And these spirits shall rise up against the children of men, and against the women, because they have proceeded from them." Brothers and sisters, book of Enoch chapter 16 verse 12, is it? "And this spirit shall rise up against the children of men, and against the women." This spirit will do war on the earth, brothers and sisters. And in subsequent lessons, I'll go into the details of these spirits, these children of the fallen angels. I will explain it. If you see my videos where I say war, I think it's war with the serpent seed, I explained that. But in subsequent videos, I think I'll bring it back home so that you understand what's actually going on the planet today. Now, we've seen from the lips of the Most High himself, he made it very clear that we are going to live in a society where there will be war declared on the children of men and on the women. And when I say the children of men and on the women, I'm talking about the creatures of God. That's the black men and the black women, especially the black women. A war has been declared. Now, Let's discuss the concept of war. Our traditional concept of war is where you take either knives, machete, guns, bombs, planes, and try to kill each other. But that's not the only means through which warfare is exerted from one people to the other. There are different kinds of war that can be waged on a people. What I have noticed that is going on is that the seeds of the fallen angels are doing, and these seeds of the fallen angels, you can call them, the elite, the world leaders, the Illuminati, the Zionists, whatever you like, you can call them. But what I have noticed, the war they are waging on women, on the black women, is some kind of war of attrition, war of deception, a war that you don't even know is going on, but it is going on. So how do they do this? Number one, if you want to wage war on somebody, you isolate the person. You isolate the person, drag the person away from those who love them, from their family, from those who can protect them. And that's how what they have done to our sisters, to our mothers, to our loved ones, to our wives and everything. In a period when they came up with this women empowerment, feminism, and all those things, they used it to deceive our sisters that they can live without a man, that they can do it. They don't need a man in their life. And they basically latch on some things that have happened. I mean, we've had situations where men don't stand up to their responsibilities, and you see single mothers who are very hardworking and try to carry the family, and most of them have been successful carrying the family. However, they have convinced some women, some very young women, that they don't need a man in their lives. And that is tragic, because when somebody convinces you that you don't need a loved one in your life, that person is isolating you. So they have isolated our sisters from those who will protect them. They have also isolated the black women from the black man. The general concept, of course, is that a white man is more providing will provide more or better to a black woman than a black man will do. That is more caring and loving, which is a myth. It's actually not true. If you are standing on if you are about, let's say you are standing near a railroad and a train is about to climb your legs, a black man will be more likely to save you than a white man. But they've convinced our sisters that they don't need us, and this is done through feminism, and that's how they wage war. That's one of the ways they wage war against the women. The other one, of course, is through what they call abortion and contraception. And I would really recommend everybody see my video on that. The video is titled "What Every Igbo Girl Must Know," and I think it's part 3 of that video where I talk about abortion and contraception. Basically, with abortion and contraception, they convinced the women to hate themselves, to take something that will make them infertile. The job of a woman is to protect protect the society and to give birth to the new generation, to retain the society, to continue the cycle of life. A man is not going to give birth to children, it's a woman that will do that. Give birth to children and train the children, to mold the children to be sons and daughters, to be warriors. But with abortion and contraception, they make a woman to see her life more important than anything in the world. I mean, brothers and sisters, take a look at the animals. If a mother, let's say, I don't know, let's say chickens. If a hen, a small chick, is being attacked, the mother will go to war, will fight, even at the detriment of her own life, to protect that children, the chicks. But in the world today, through movies and through television, they've convinced our women that their life is more important. I was having a conversation with one family that, we are family friends, the wife, and the wife was saying that, she just wants to have 2 children and she's done. She wants to take care of herself. So we're like, okay, if you want to have 2 children, that's fine, but what do you mean that you are done? She went on to say that those who have more than two children, in her opinion, they don't like themselves. They don't want to take care of themselves. They don't want to look good. And I was really dumbfounded. I mean, what do you mean by look good? Do you mean that if you have more children, children don't make mothers look good? This is the kind of influence that the media, the society has have on women, to make them to lose their maternal instinct, their nurturing instinct, their ability to nurture a life in the name of looking good, or in the name of looking hip, or the funky mom, or whatever they call themselves. This is war. Our sisters need to understand that this is war. Our brothers need to understand that this is war against women. They come with different things. I've talked about genital mutilation, which is a female circumcision, which is a practice that we, the Igbos, do, and which is a very effective practice for both hygiene and for chastity. They also come with that, and that is why they sexualize our daughters at a very early age. This is war, because they know that someone who is highly sexualized will be very susceptible to anything that comes in. Because when you are highly sexualized, you lose control of yourself, and when you lose control, you cannot fight. You can't fight, because if you cannot even control your own body, what else can you do? You can't control anything. So the war against women is waged mostly through television. And brothers and sisters, you need to understand that the television is an instrument of war. It's the witch instrument of war. It's a very powerful tool, and that is being used to wage war on our women, especially the black women. They've convinced the black women that her hair is not good enough. Her hips, her lips, her color, her skin color is not good enough. Now, why is this very important? This is important because most of us black men also propagate this war on our loved ones, our sisters and our mothers without knowing. I mean, in the 90s, hip-hop music was everywhere, where in almost every hip-hop song, they're calling women bitches. I mean, even till this very day, they're calling women bitches. Why will you do that? Why will you call a woman, a girl, a bitch? Why will you do that? But this is what they have propagandized us to do. They have convinced us that our sisters, our loved ones, our mothers, the creators and the progenitors of our society, they've convinced us to see them as nothing but bitches. This is war. It is war, brothers and sisters. They have declared it on the black man and the black woman, the African. And why is it against the black man and the black woman? You see, I'll explain this in a future video. I think if I do it here now, this video will run for hours. But the black man and the black woman they are the remaining ones left. Like I mentioned in my previous video, War Against the Serpent Seed, I said these things, they usually come from Europe. The Europeans, they invade the entire society, and they try to permeate the entire society. And the black man, the African man and woman are those that are left in the world today. We have been resilient enough to resist them today, and they are doing this through deception. It's important that you understand that this is a war that is going on, but I'll explain it now. Brothers and sisters, why is there war being waged? Why is the war being waged on women? The question is why. You see, I've always asked myself that question, because I noticed that what's going on is a war. I've noticed that a long time ago, but it never really occurred to me why that war is being waged until recently, and I'll tell you why. When I was young, I was told, I grew up with the notion that it is the job of a man to protect the woman and the children and the society. That's what I grew up with. Brothers and sisters, now I'm married, I have children, and I have realized that actually it is the job of the woman to protect the man and the children and the society. It is not the man. The women are the protectors of the society. They are the bearers of the traditions. The women are the ones who protect the society. If anything happens to a man, a woman, a child, anything, they run to their mother. People feel comforted and people feel more enabled when their mother is behind them. I've realized that it is the woman that protects the society. And this elite, they know that these children of the fallen angels, these world leaders or whatever you call them, Illuminati or anything you like, they know that it is the woman that protects the society they want to destroy. And so, if they can destroy the woman, they will destroy the society. Let me give you an example, a very recent example, brothers and sisters. You saw the recent accusation against this American comedian, Bill Cosby, where over 50 women came out of nowhere. And started accusing him of rape and this and that. 50 women come out talking about rape 40 years later. Talking about rape that happened at a time when, okay, I'm not going to go into whether he was guilty or not guilty. I don't care. To be honest with you, brothers and sisters, I don't care. But I know that in the history of the United States, if a white woman come out and say a black man has raped me, black people are going to die. It's not even a court case. They're going to kill a lot of black people for that. Whether she's telling the truth or not is irrelevant. She just needs to say it. So for them not to say it 40 years ago, 50 years ago, and come out today and 50 of them just come out and begin to say that he raped them, I realize that this is an attack on that human being, on Bill Cosby. For whatever reason, and I don't know Bill Cosby, I barely watched his show when I was young, but I don't know. But there was an attack on him. And look at how his lawyer, a black woman, protected him. I've seen black people have high profile cases with their male lawyers. I don't see that kind of protection. There was, maybe it's just me, but there was some kind of a motherly protection that this lawyer gave to Bill Cosby. Even, I don't know how the court case is proceeding, but in the public eye, because we know from what I've seen, the statute of limitation of whatever crime he was being accused of has passed, but he was being convicted in the court of public opinion, and we saw how that lawyer went on offensive, a black woman, and protected this man, at least in the public eye, and the whole thing died away. And they should, actually. That's a very simple and high profile example of how mothers protect the society. It is what mothers do. Good mothers protect the men and the society. We men, we have our ego. We think that we protect women. No, it is the job of the woman to protect the children, the generation. And that is why this elite, the societies, these children of the fallen angels are waging war on our women. And we have to protect them from this war. We have to at least let them know that this is a war against them. Brothers and sisters, we live in a society where if you look at how they depict the black woman, how they depict the African woman, they depict her as someone that is angry, someone that just want to tear people apart, someone that's irrational. That is the way. From the days of Whoopi Goldberg, I was on television, and to recent celebrities, they depict the African woman as the woman, as somebody that is not put together, somebody that is, that just wants to cause trouble or wants to fight or something. This is war. It's war that is going on. Because they make the men in our life they make the black man, they make the men find their own women not attractive. And if the men, what a woman really needs from a man is actually just love and attention. That's all. Most times the woman doesn't need anything from a man apart from that love, companionship, and attention. And when a woman has that, when a woman is enabled to have that, she will do her job of protecting the society. But unfortunately for the African man has been convinced to find the African woman non-attractive, and that's why you go and see brothers and sisters marrying white women, and doing stuff like that. This is war against the women. Another way that war is being waged against women is through this homosexuality that they are pushing against on people. If I have 2 videos that explain what causes homosexuality and how it's being shoved down our throats. This is another means of waging war against women, because first of all, a woman is no longer competing with other women. She is now competing with men for a man's attention. Can you imagine that? That is war, brothers and sisters. That is war. And in the movies, in the televisions you watch, they make some women have gay friends. It's not a thing that every woman likes having a gay friend. How can you have a friend with a competitor? This is somebody that has more access to men than you, and they are now competing for attention and everything that you need from a man with you, and they are now pushing it as if it's the best thing for a woman to do, to have gay friends. No, it's not. It's disgusting. But this is war on our women, because they know that once they defeat our women, they defeat our society. Our society will collapse once our women collapse. Our women are more resilient than men. Even at the embryonic stage, women are much more resilient than men. It's far more easier to abort a male child than a female child. Women are more resilient than men. Everybody knows that. And that's why they're waging this war on the women. And this is what the Most High said in the book of Enoch. The Most High said that these children of the fallen angels will rise against the women. They will rise against the women. That is why they go about making women feel like they are worth nothing. In the churches, they treat women like they are nothing. The Christian churches, the Muslim churches, they are just the same thing. The Muslim mosque, they are all the same thing. They were all founded by the same people. These are all the same thing, founded by the same people. And in these places, they treat women like they are nothing. And since these churches and mosques are treating women like nothing, feminism came in, which is also another means of war against women. So the war on society we see today is actually war against women. It's mainly directed towards women, brothers and sisters. And this is in sync with what the Most High said in the book of Enoch. You see, when you read the book of Enoch, you tend to think that it's something that happened in the past. No, the book of Enoch is happening now. It's not just something that happened in the past. The book of Enoch is describing what happened now, what is happening now. That's what it's describing. That's why in the book of Enoch, the first thing Enoch wrote is that this book is not for his generation. It's for a remote generation that is to come. Our generation, brothers and sisters, is that generation. It is in our generation that we are seeing these things being done, this war being waged on our society, on our mothers. Now, when you realize, how do we fight back? First of all, when you realize that a celestial entity has declared war on you, a non-human entity has declared war on you, at least you owe yourself the duty to fight back. You owe it to your generations to come to fight back. And the first thing you can do in fighting back is be aware that this is war, that the contraceptions and abortion they are giving you to give your wife so that you can have endless sex and not get pregnant, and to celebrate your infertility. The movies and televisions and all those ones that they are programming you to fight against your mothers, to call your mothers and sisters bitches. When you realize that, you stop. You stop. Brothers and sisters, when you realize that you are doing the wrong thing, you are walking on the side of those who are waging war on your women, you stop. Let's go to the book of Ezekiah. Ezekiah is the prophet that people call Ezekiel. His real name is Ezekiah. In the book of Ezekiah, chapter 18, verse 21, he said, "But if the wicked man turns from his sins which he has committed and observe my statutes and my justice and righteousness, and he shall surely live and he shall not die." Brothers and sisters, when you realize that what you've been doing is wicked, is sinful, is against the law of the Most High, is actually fighting on the other side against the Most High, you stop. Brothers and sisters, when you see yourself, that you see a woman, you are looking at how big her hips are or how big her breasts are, you stop. You realize that you are fighting for the other side. When you see a woman and you're looking at maybe her legs or her nose or her whatever, which is, those things are totally irrelevant. Nobody has control over how any part of their body comes in, because when you do this, brothers and sisters, when you do this, when you put pressure on women that okay, you need big breast or big hips or this, the women will feel inferior. They will now feel encouraged to go and do all kinds of plastic surgery, which is an insult on the Most High. Plastic surgery is an insult on the Most High. If you don't believe me, just watch any of these TV shows that talk about plastic surgery. Be it what's this Hollywood nonsense that they do on plastic surgery? They make it seem like the Most High created women inadequately, and they are now doing the better job, much better than the Most High. This is an insult on the God of the creation. When you realize that you are encouraging this nonsense, that you see a woman's breast and you begin to idolize it and you begin to... what are you doing with that? What nonsense is that? You see, this is how they sexualize our society, and they make us wage war on ourselves by focusing on something that is totally irrelevant. What has the size of a woman's breast got to do with anything? What has it got to do with anything? So this is you notice that the fallen ones, these children of the fallen angels, are basically transferring their spirits to us through television. I mean, I saw one interview I saw. I've forgotten the program I saw, where one guy was saying that when he sees a woman, what attracts him is the feet. That he has a foot fetish. The feet, for Christ's sake. I mean, can you imagine what has the foot of a woman got to do with anything? But the society, the television, the culture, the pop culture, they make you focus on this superficial thing. You're judging a woman's feet. Brothers and sisters, please do not underestimate the power of television. Do not do that. It's a very powerful tool, the most powerful I have seen. Is the weapon of mass destruction. That's television. For instance, in Western countries, they are told, they have been programmed to see Eastern and African countries, where you know in African countries or in Eastern countries, you see women, they cover their hair, or they dress properly, their dressing is nice, and they're not exposing their body in any way. But in the Western countries, they have been propagandized to see this thing as oppression of women. Meanwhile, in their country, where they get half-naked girls, parade them up and down in beauty pageant for perverts like Donald Trump to grab their private parts, that is what they call freedom. When you have girls, vulnerable 15, 16-year-old girls, young girls that know anything, and you dress them half naked and you judge them and you grab their private parts, that is what they call freedom. And people see it as freedom. This is propaganda from television, and it's very powerful. The Bible said, "Woe unto he who calls good evil and evil good." Do not forget that, brothers and sisters. I mean, it's really sad. It's so sad when we see this, especially when you watch these beauty pageants where you see girls being treated like they are commodity. I mean, you see women being sampled and looked upon as if, who in their right mind thinks that this is good? But this is the society we live in, and this is war. And it's so painful to me when I watch these pageants here in Nigeria, because they are mostly Igbo girls. You see Igbo girl representing Kano State, Katsina State, Breden Kebbi State, whatever they call it. Igbo girls representing this thing. Why are we Why are we fronting our daughters, our beautiful, elegant daughters, in the eyes of these sexual predators to judge their looks? Why are we doing that? You see, brothers, when you see yourself doing this, when you see yourself looking at a woman's beauty and judging and doing this, you are judging the creation of God. You're saying that God created an imperfect thing. That's what you're saying. Because a woman's looks or her beauty or the absence of it, whatever, has nothing to do with who that woman is. It has nothing to do with the capabilities of that woman. It has nothing to do with it. So when you see yourself doing these things, stop. Make that conscious effort to stop. Because you are fighting against the God of creation. Very effective. So when you realize that this is war that is being waged on you, you stop, brothers and sisters. You stop. And I know, believe me, I know it's difficult to stop. There's a whole kinds of societal pressure. I mean, if you decide that you're not going to do that, so there will be a whole lot of pressure from your peers and everything for you to do that. But you have to be resilient. You have to realize that this is not a joke. This is a war. They are turning you against the creation of the Most High. Because none of these superficial features have anything to do with reality. The shape of a woman or the shape of her hips or whatever has nothing to do with whether she will make a good mother or a good wife or not. It has nothing. There's no correlation. So, brothers and sisters, you should have the courage to stop. You stop these things. I mean, it's easier said than done. I agree, but if you realize that you are born into a war that is currently ongoing, it's a war that is being waged on the society through waging the war against women. When you realize that, you have to fight back, and you have to stop demeaning women. Stop looking down on women. I mean, I go to the internet, you see a whole lot of men, African men, black men, that are insulting women. They are paid a whole lot of money to insult black women. And so what they do is they look for the worst of the worst. They look for videos that depict maybe women fighting among each other, pick it out of context and say this is what black women are. This is war. These people are paid. These are traitors, actually. And you see how much once they paste this kind of videos, within 3 seconds of the video being live, it has like 20 zillion views. Because this is war. Those things are being inflated. The reputation of these individuals are being inflated because they insult women. It's war. These people are fighting for the other side. You have to know that this is war that is currently ongoing. And that's why, I mean, I see a whole lot of them coming to, whether they call themselves Hebrew Israelites or maybe whatever they call themselves. I was actually engaging in one conversation with one idiot that calls himself, what's his, I don't know, I don't remember. But he was insulting women, and he was saying that if I was not going to stand up and point out the evil of women, that I'm not a strong man. Really? People measure their strength by how much they attack women? In what universe is that done? Brothers and sisters, you need to understand that this is war that is currently ongoing. We are born into a war. I'm very sorry to tell you that, but you are not born in peacetime. You're born in war, in the middle of war. And you need to know that. And when you know that, you have to protect the women in your life. You have to show love to the women in your life. There are men that are rich in our societies. They will come and see a young girl, 14, 15, 16-year-old. And, these girls are very, very impressionable. They deceive them and then get them pregnant, pump them filled with babies and run away. There are men that do that. This is, well, if you do that, you're destroying yourself, because you're destroying the one element, the one person that can protect you in life, that can be behind you. A man can never be successful without a woman being behind him. Never. Never. It doesn't happen that way. A woman has to be behind you before you are successful. So if you're a man and you are involved in destroying your own society by destroying your own girls, you should know the implication of that, because you are being possessed, you are working for the spirit of the fallen angel, and there's a very huge punishment for that. May the Most High bless each and every one of us. Selah.